Repeat.
I hereby call this meeting to order. This is the Code Enforcement Magistrate hearing for the City of Delray Beach. Unless otherwise noted, the cases will be called in the order in which they appear on the agenda. When you hear your case called, go ahead and proceed to the podium on my left-hand side, which is right over here. So if you hear your case called, come on right up here. The city will put on its testimony and evidence first. You'll have an opportunity to review any evidence that the city is submitting and to ask questions of any of the city's witnesses, after which times you can submit your own testimony and evidence. This is a quasi-judicial hearing, which means the formal rules of evidence do not apply here. However, all testimony is taken under oath under penalty of perjury. So if you're going to testify today, or you think you might testify, there's a possibility that you might testify. I'm going to ask that you rise and raise your right hand so you can be sworn in.
By the authority invested in me as a notary of the state of Florida, do you swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Yes. Thank you.
This is a programming side note. If you have a cell phone or other device with you, please put it on silent. As you probably can tell, sound travels pretty well in this room. Also, if you need to have a conversation or discussion with somebody, please take it outside the chamber. All right, consent agenda.
I'm requesting approval of the consent agenda as written.
So approved.
Thank you.
Yes, and I also have one more additional request. Case number is 4 IRCODE 26-00064, and case number 5 CODE 26-000656. Owners are Edward Intercultural LLC. The attorney is present today, and we are requesting a continuance to the next set of hearings in 2 weeks. And we can provide that date certain.
Sir, come on up.
4-6. You said 4-6 and 5-6?
4 and 5.
Okay.
Oh, no, sorry, next case.
Okay, one moment.
Sir, can you tell your name? State your name.
Jeff Stevens. I'm the project executive for Atlantic Crossing.
And we received some new information from them late last night and today, and we just need 2 weeks. We're going to review it, and we're asking.
So you're jointly asking for a continuance to next month?
Whatever the next available hearing is in 2 weeks. I just don't have the calendar. I was asking the clerk for the date.
5-7. Does that work for you?
Yes, it does.
Is that okay with the city?
Yes, that's perfect. Thank you.
All right, so we're going to reset this for 5-7.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
One other programming note, I have the minutes of March 19, 2026, and they are hereby deemed approved.
Thank you.
You want to call the first one?
Case number 1. Code 26 000-625. The property owner is Luckner St. Louis. The property address is 2888 Dawson Way, and the code officer on the case is Chantel Jean Baptiste.
Is this Mr. Luis? No. Oh, I thought he was coming.
Good afternoon. My name is Code Enforcement Chantel Jean Baptiste for the City of Delray Beach. This property, 2888 Dorson Way, was issued a notice of violation on March 18th, 2026. The service was accomplished by certified and regular mail on March 25th, 2026. The green card was signed for March 29th, 2026. In addition, both the property and City Hall were posted on March 20th, 2026. An affidavit of posting is attached. I have had contact with the property owner twice via phone. Exhibit 1 shows the initial photo on March 16, 2026, commercial vehicle parked in residential. Exhibit 2, March 16, 2026, a different angle in front of the property. Exhibit 3 shows the posting of property on March 30th, 2026. Exhibit 4 is an affidavit of posting which was on March the 30th, 2026. Exhibit 5 was my last reinspection. And the property is not in compliance. I have these 6 photos in question. Exhibit 6 is the affidavit of non-compliance. And the city is asking 7 additional days to come in compliance, which will be by March the 23rd. April 23rd, thank you, 2026.
No time travel here. Yeah, just no time travel back in time.
At this time, the city would like to introduce these exhibits into evidence.
Is anyone here on behalf of the respondent? Seeing no one without objection, I'm going to accept an evidence. The evidence of your case on this case is the city's composite exhibit.
So if they don't comply, I'm asking a $100 daily fine until complied,
How long has this truck been on the property?
since March 16th.
And just to clarify, based on your observations and your review of this area, has this truck consistently been there
Consistently been parked, it
Yeah.
hasn't been moved.
in the same spot?
Correct.
Just to be clear. All right, thank you.
All right. Case CODE 26000625. I make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient to find the property in violation of Code Section 4.6.1382, parking commercial vehicles in a residential area. Respondent has 7 days to come into compliance or a fine of $100 per day may issue.
Thank you. Case number 2, Code 26-000635. The property owner is Bonisti and Willoughby
Okay, hold
Hilaire.
one thought, actually. Let me make sure I start doing this better. In the previous case, instead of 7 days, let's say time certain for 23/26.
Correct. And as we go forward, we are, just to give you a heads up, we will be asking for date certain compliance dates.
I think that's a good practice.
Thank you.
All right. All right, I'm sorry. Linda, please go ahead.
Case number 2, Code 26-000635. The property owner is Bonisti and Willoughby Hilaire. The property address is 3424 Boulevard, Shanklin. And the code officer on the case is Chantel Jean Baptiste.
Good afternoon, Code Enforcement, Chantel Jean Baptiste for the city of Delray Beach. This property, 3424 Boulevard, Chatelaine, was issued a notice of violation on March 23rd, 2026. The initial photo in Exhibit 1 was taken by Code Enforcement Supervisor Latoya Thompson. This came in as a complaint, commercial vehicle parked in residential. Service was accomplished and mailed by March 25th, 2026. The green card was signed on March the 29th, 2026. In addition, both the property was posted on March 30th, 2026. Exhibit 2 is a second photo showing the commercial vehicle parked in residential from the front of property on March 20th, 2022. Exhibit 3, I posted on property on March 30th, 2026. Exhibit 4 is affidavit of posting on April 9th, 2026. Exhibit 5 is a reinspection on April 10th, 2026. This photo was taken by Code Enforcement Supervisor Latoya Thompson. As of April 10th, the property has not came into compliance. The city is asking the commercial vehicle to be removed by April 23rd, 2026, or a $100 daily fine.
At this time, we move these 6 exhibits into evidence.
Sir, can I have your name, please?
Sorry, 7.
Bizenisiler.
I'm sorry?
Bizenisiler.
Are you the owner of the property, sir?
Yes.
Do you have any objections to the photographs?
Yes. I will remove it. It's not there no more.
Okay, I'm going to take that as a no to these photographs as they are. So I'm going to accept that in evidence of city's composite exhibit.
7. There's
7.
7 of them.
Okay. 7 photos. All right, go ahead, sir. Tell me what you want me to know.
I just removed the truck. It's not in the place no more. It's not in the front of the house. I'll move it.
May I ask a question? Sir, Mr. Hilaire, when was the truck removed?
Week ago.
This week? When was the vehicle removed?
So I don't remember I don't remember the date it was removed.
Okay.
Last week it was removed.
Did you contact the code enforcement department when you removed it?
No, I didn't contact because they sent me a date to come here. That's why I come with the date. I didn't contact anybody. I
Okay.
didn't call. I just come with the date. They all send me the paper.
And just to be clear, have you understood everything that's been happening during these proceedings?
Yes, I do.
You understand? If not, we can get you assistance, but I'm just asking you.
Okay, just give me the incentive. Be better for me. I can have the incentive. Yes, I can get the trust. Yeah, you can translate for me. Yeah.
Oh, would you like a translator?
Yeah. Yes,
Okay.
I have a translator.
If we could translate, if we can swear in the translator, please.
Thank you. One moment. Do you swear and affirm that you will translate a fair and accurate interpretation?
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
If I can have the translator transfer this verbatim, we are going to start the case over to ensure that he understood everything that was happening during the proceedings.
Alors, dame avocat a dit comme ça que vous pouvez continuer à commencer le dossier encore. On va traduire pour, ok? Notamment.
Miss Jean-Baptiste,
Il dit, Madame Jean-Baptiste,
could you start over with your presentation?
est-ce qu'on peut commencer encore avec la présentation?
Good afternoon, Code Enforcement Officer Chantel Jean-Baptiste for the City of Delray Beach. This property...
Wait, we have to let you finish, and then the translator is going to translate.
Bonsoir, je dis, non, pas moi, c'est Madame Jean-Baptiste. Moi, c'est code officier pour City Delray Beach.
And then if we could just get the translator's name on the record and your position with the city.
Say your name.
Mr. Ruben.
Yes, my name is Rubenson Dijardin. I am the code enforcement officer for the City of Delray Beach.
Thank you. You may proceed.
This property, 3424 Boulevard Chatelaine, was issued a notice of violation on March 23rd, 2026.
Alors, Kaisa 3424
Boulevard Chatelaine.
Boulevard Chapelain. Alors, ça lui-même, ça c'est Kai qui gagne violation. Hein?
March 23rd, 2023.
Alors, il était fait
2026.
violation dans le mois mars 2026.
Service will accomplish by certified mail
Alors,
and
service
regular
là,
mail on March 25th, 2026.
service là, lui-même était accompli dans mars 2026.
The green card was signed for March 29th, 2026.
Alors, carte qui coulait vers là, lui-même était commencé à être signé dans mars 2026.
In addition, both the property and the city hall were posted on March 30th, 2026.
Alors, City a lui-même été posté en violation en mars 30 2026.
I have not been in contact with the owner of property.
Alors, j'aime comme si il y a communication avec Maître Kaila.
This property was cited for
Alors, Kaisa lui-même était en violation pour
4.6.13,
4.6.13,
subsection A,
parenthèse 8,
subsection 2.
parenthèse 2.
As of March 10th,
Alors, non, mars 10.
the property has not came into compliance.
Alors, la violation lui-même est toujours de même.
I think you meant to say April 10th.
I'm sorry. As of April 10th, 2026, the property has not came into compliance.
Alors, depuis le mois d'avril 2026, Kala lui-même n'a pas de jamais corrigé violation.
I have attached 7 photos of property to this case I would like to introduce.
Alors, en tout, moi, j'ai 7 photos que je vais introduire pour évidence jeudi.
The city is asking for
Alors, si tu as les mêmes mandés,
to comply by removing commercial vehicle
alors pour comme si pour corriger, pour seulement retirer machine véhicule ça yo.
by April 23rd,
Alors, notre date
2026.
notre date qui était April
23rd, 2026,
23 avril 2026.
or $100 daily fine
Alors,
until
la
compliant.
charge ou $100 par jour, si vous pas corriger problème là.
And for clarification, the commercial vehicle in this case is the Biz landscaping vehicle, correct?
Yes.
Alors, Damna lui-même, lui m'a demandé est-ce que violence ça lui-même c'est pour machine qui était parquée devant là, quand on regardait là.
Yes.
Alors, lui-même, il dit oui.
So we requested for the introduction.
Sir, is there anything you'd like to tell me?
Est-ce que tu as un pour dire qu'on est là? I have nothing to say right now because the case is being in compliance. I have removed the vehicle.
For the record, I'm going to accept the photographs into evidence.
Alors pour comme si pour vérification, on a accepté tout ça que Damna lui dit là.
In case 26000635,
Alors dossier numéro caisse li balade 26 006 225.
I find the property in violation of parking commercial vehicles.
Alors moi je joins comme si Kaisa en violation pour parquer au parquet là.
I give the respondent till 4/23
Alors nous baillons ou même jusqu'à 23 avril
to come into compliance,
pour qu'à venir corriger problème là.
or a fine of $100 per day may
Ou
issue.
bien à charger $100 par jour.
We're done.
On fini?
Thank you. Case number 3, Code 26 000-606. The property owner is Delray Beach Associates, Inc. The registered agent is Masher Evans Stalker. And the property address is 802 East Atlantic Avenue. And the code officer on the case is Connor Lee.
Before we get started, just a reminder, sound travels really well in this room. If you need to have a conversation, and sometimes you do, just please take it outside the chamber. I'm sorry. Officer Lee, go ahead.
Good afternoon, Connor Lee, Clean and Safe Office. Oh wait, was she supposed to? Or I'm good to start, right?
Yes, please.
Connor Lee, Clean and Safe Officer for the City of Delray Beach. On February 24, 2026, I conducted an inspection at the property 802 East Atlantic Avenue, where I observed evidence that the interior of the building required maintenance. A notice of violation was issued on March 9, 2026. Service was accomplished by certified mail on March 25th, 2026. In addition, both property and City Hall were posted on March 16th, 2026. An affidavit of posting is attached to the case files. I have been in contact with both the owner of the property and the business owner. The property was cited under Code Section 4.5.1, subsection E, subsection 9, subsection A plus subsection B, subsections 1 through 6, maintenance of historic properties, which states the owner of a building or structure located within a historic district through the exercise of sufficient or reasonable care shall provide the maintenance and upkeep of these sites and buildings to prevent destruction and decay caused by either deterioration or other hazards. As of today, April 15, 2026, the property has not come into compliance. I have attached 16 documents to the property for the case that I would like to introduce into evidence, and the city is asking 30 days to apply for the required permits May 17, 2026, and then 30 days to obtain the permits and work with the historic team June 17, 2026, or a $250 daily fine until compliance is achieved. And for Exhibit 1, this was taken on February 24, 2026 during the inspection. It's just the shot of the building and the business. Here it shows that there are a few holes within the wall right here next to one of the main entrances.
If you can state the date.
Oh, yes. February 24th, 2026, Exhibit 2. Exhibit 3, February 24th. This was a ventilation duct that didn't have proper coverage. Exhibit 4, February 24th, 2026, taken in one of the bathrooms. Just so you can see some potential water damage. They need to fix that. And Exhibit 5, February 24th, 2026. You can see right here, there is just a small pane of glass missing. It looked like it was held up by tape. And then here is another, Exhibit 6, February 24th, 2026. A few cracks within the glass of one of the other windows, and then some of the paint as well missing. Exhibit 7, February 24, 2026. This is one of the frozen food container. Yes, thank you. Refrigerators, where you can see it's been duct taped and has taken some damage throughout the years and hasn't been properly maintained. Exhibit 8, February 24, 2026. The same door, just on the bottom where you can see there is some damage. And then you can see right here as well, there's just some damage to the actual doorway as well. And this door, you can see, well, actually, I couldn't even open it all the way. This is the furthest I could open it, probably because of the floor and the damage and missing tiles. Exhibit 9, February 24, 2026. Exhibit 10, around the same area, just showcasing a little more of the wall and then the floor, that it just needs to be maintained. Exhibit 10, February 24, 2026. Exhibit 11, this is in the upper kitchen area. Just, you can see the floor needs some more maintenance, and some of the appliances as well. Exhibit 11, February 24, 2026. Right here, this is one of the main entrances to the building. A bike lock was used to lock and secure the building because there isn't a proper lock on that front door, which is a safety hazard. And in Exhibit 13, here is the affidavit of posting dated March 16th, 2026. And then here is the posting photo of Exhibit 14 on March 16th, 2026. And then reinspection prior to hearing was conducted April 15th, 2026, where they are still non-compliance, Exhibit 15. And Exhibit 16, just stopped by the property, wanted to get an update photo, and this is what it's looking like as of yesterday.
Thank you. Just a quick question. Did you discuss this property with our historic department here?
Yeah, I brought it up to them, yes.
And this is indeed in a historic district within the city, correct?
Yes,
Okay, thank you.
Historic Marina District.
Thank you.
And that is all for my exhibit.
Thank you.
I assume you want to submit this into evidence?
Yes, we would like to submit the 16 exhibits into evidence.
Ma'am, can you tell me your name, please?
My name's Kristen Sarubi. I am the property manager representing the owner.
Can you spell your last name for me, please?
Sarubi, S as in Sam, A-R-U-B-B-E.
Ms. Ruby, you said you're the property manager?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have any objections to the photographs or other evidence the city wanted to put in evidence?
I don't have any objections.
All right, without objection, so admitted.
Let me just confirm, if we can get just an affirmance, that the owner has authorized her to be here to represent the case today.
Yes. Yeah, that is correct.
Thank you.
The owner is
Yes.
aware you're here? And,
Yes.
Okay. Okay. What do you want to tell me?
Yeah, well, I just wanted to inform you, the owner actually has legal action. We filed a eviction February 12th with the state, and it's been a long process. They had an emergency hearing last week, and the hearing is set up for next week, which is April 23rd. As of right now, we do not have legally the rights to go into the space to do the necessary repairs. So what we're just asking is an extension to get the building, the interior space up to par once we get the tenant out of the space.
My understanding is the city is seeking for you to obtain the appropriate permits by May 27th, and actually to apply for them by May 27th and to obtain them by June 17th. Is that correct?
No, I believe it was
May 17th.
May 17th.
Yeah.
Just to apply and
Yeah, to apply for the permits and begin the process of working with the historic team to make the proper repairs, and then the additional 30 days were
6/17
Yeah.
to obtain the permits.
yes,
correct.
yeah.
Okay. Does that work for your time schedule?
I was hoping, can we ask to apply for the permits June and then do July? Just because, again, with legal, apparently the tenant, we just learned, just hired a new lawyer. So this might be another process, again, because of the legal ramifications, we're kind of stuck.
So let me just ask for clarification, Ms. Lee. Is this a still ongoing operable business?
Well, yes, the business it's active, but
And we received these complaints based on health and safety concerns.
Yeah.
Is that property correct?
yeah, I was actually informed by the Department of Business and Professional Regulations yesterday that the business should not be operating right now due to them shutting down.
We
That's
have
another issue, one that is not performing.
It is another issue, but the
Yes.
reason why I bring that up, because if this is a business that's operating, just, I would say that the city might be hesitant to allow for 60 days to even meet with the historic staff and start the conversation. We understand the legal issue, however, we would at least like them to attempt to meet with the staff and apply for a permit for the
Well,
corrections within 30 days.
I think our frustration, the owner's frustration, is the health department has come and closed it down. And how is it that they're still able to open their doors when they've been shut down? And in our rights, how do we stop them from doing that? I don't know who the contact person is from the health department to notify them. I don't know how they just reopen when they've been filed, that again, I don't know what.
Well, I'm not the health department.
Yeah.
It's not,
I understand that.
I have enough responsibilities. I
Yes,
don't handle
understood.
that particular universe. Linda, when do we meet in May? What are our dates?
The 7th, we're gonna meet on the 7th, and I think on the 21st, 7 and 21st.
You know what? My inclination is to keep the dates that the city is suggesting,
Okay.
and we'll set it for hearing on the 21st.
Okay.
If there is legit issues why you haven't been able to comply, you can explain it to me then.
Okay.
But this has been going on a while.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So would that hearing be for just a status check?
I'm gonna set the date as the 17th, and hopefully you'll communicate with the city. If the city's agreeable that you're doing everything you can, then we'll push it at that point. But
Okay.
but let's see if we can get this moving a little bit.
No, I mean, I understand the compliance dates, but would the 21st court date be a status check?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so this is what I'm doing. Case 26000606. I make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice sufficient to find the property in violation of the listed code section, specifically the condition of the historic building in the historic district. I give the respondent until 5/17/2026 to apply for permits and meet with staff, and I give the respondent till 6/17/2026 to obtain permits or a fine of up to $250 per day. May issue set for status hearing on May 21st. Is that right? 2026.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Magistrate Wagner, the attorney for the respondent in case number code 25-00034, it's number 17, the last case on the docket. He advised me that he has to leave, I guess something urgent, so he would like to make a request to see if he can call his case up now.
Is the city okay with that?
I mean, sure, based on his representation to me, I'm fine based on his emergency
All right,
representation.
let's call 17.
You're welcome.
Case number 17. One moment, please. Code 25-000-341. The property owner is Giles and Geraldine Scuderi. The property address is 200 South Ocean Boulevard, Unit B, 133. And the officer on the case is Supervisor Latoya Thompson. And this request is for a lien or fine reduction.
Good morning. I am Latoya Thompson, Code Supervisor for the City of Delray Beach Code Enforcement Division. Originally, this case was found in violation on January 7th, 2026 for a deck being installed on the property without a permit. Given 45 days, which would be February 21st, 2006, to correct all violation or $150 daily fine. Case came into compliance on March 18, 2026. I have included 2 photos from the original case. There is an accrued fine of $3,600 and the owner is requesting a reduction of fines.
Sir, can you tell me your name, please?
Ralph Rodriguez on behalf of Jerry and Gal Scuderi, the property owner.
One more time, a little bit slower.
Ralph Rodriguez of the law firm Cousin O'Connor on behalf of the property owner, Giles and Jerry Scuderi.
I'm sorry, Miss Thompson. Officer Thompson, did you have anything additional you wanted to show?
It was just old photos from just to get the gist of the violation, but it's all the way at the bottom.
Your Honor, my understanding is the city's offered $900 as a fine reduction. We've asked to cut that in half by $450.
Tell me the basis by which I should reduce this fine.
Well, first of all, Judge, I represent Jerry Scuderi, who's here. She's retired. She's relying on the contractor for this work. There was initially a delay with the property association getting the letters from the condominium association for approval of the permit. They then submitted the permit application, as I understand it. The city originally brought this into the wrong queue. They required that it be resubmitted. It was resubmitted. Then there was additional requests for plans and other documents that needed to be provided. Those were provided. And eventually then the permit was issued on 3/17/26. That's not in dispute. The city had the permit application and the related documents for almost 27 days. And we don't really want to dispute this. We just want to work it out. I would just ask that you take that into consideration.
When did your client submit the documents?
On February 4th of 26, Judge. 2/4/26.
What was the compliance date?
February 21st of 2026.
And what caused it to, walk me through this a little bit.
Sure.
What caused it to take from the 4th till, when was this actually compliant?
3/7.
That's a long time. What happened in that interim period?
My understanding is it got put into the wrong queue in terms of the property type, and then there was a delay there, and then it came back. Then it was submitted to the city. The city provided comments after 17 days, and then there had to be some plans resubmitted, which delayed it, and then there was another review period for another 10 days. So, Judge, I mean, we're just asking, we complied, we're just asking for some leeway here and to resolve this.
And the city's position is that based on the time frame, our standard is we go by the date that the permits are issued, right? Even if they call a little bit later or a week later, we still revert back. So based on that time frame, we think that this fee is reasonable considering the work. One moment.
Good afternoon, Lynn Jellin, City Attorney. I know you have somewhere to be, but we actually have an EPL system that can tell Your Honor the exact time that it took each side to resolve the permit issues. And if you think that that would be helpful to you, I just need 5 minutes. We can just go print it out for you. And I think it would be dispositive if you feel that that's something that would assist your consideration of whether or not this fine would be reduced.
I believe it would. So let's
I just need
hold
5
this for
minutes.
5 minutes, and we'll do another case in the meantime.
Thank you, Judge. Thank you very much.
No, let's just do can we do another one?
The next case, we can, it'll be, I believe it's going to be a lengthy case. If you want to pause in between or however you want to handle it, or skip to, I would hate
Do we have a
to jinx
relatively
it to
quick
say
one?
that there's
We have
something
others.
short. Is
We have
there,
others.
Is there a short one?
We have others.
We have others.
I
I
have other
can't
cases
guarantee
that we can.
that it
okay.
will be short or not.
Okay, Madam Attorney.
Maybe, you know
let
what?
me
Is there
know.
anyone here, maybe on one of the old business cases where we shouldn't be, it should be a shorter presentation? What about the Shared Future Foundation, Doctor? Yes, maybe we can call up that
Yeah,
case.
let's call
Usually
that.
those are, their recommendations are a little shorter. Case number 16.
Case number 16, 2024, 007022. The property owner, Shared Future Foundation, Inc. The registered agent is Dr. Sarah Selnick. The property address is 28 Northwest 7th Avenue, and the code officer on the case is Connor Lee. This is a lien and fine reduction request.
Good afternoon. Issued by past Clean and Safe Officer, the property was originally found in violation on September 12, 2024 for unpermitted tree removal. They were given 30 days to apply for and obtain a tree removal permit or receive a $50 daily fine. I've included one photo from the original case and 2 new documents to show the property is in compliance. There is an accrued fine for the amount of $11,800, and the owner is here to request a reduction. The city suggests a reduction of 25% of the total accrued fines, with the maximum amount being $2,950. And yeah, that's all I have for.
Ma'am, can you tell me your name, please?
Sure, Sarah Selznick.
So you're making the request. Why should I grant it?
The fines were from a previous owner, so we didn't come into ownership of the property until the end of December, and then took care of it once we came into ownership of the property.
The city's offered to reduce it to $2,950. Is that correct?
Yes.
How does that work for you?
That's great.
Oh, and I would just like to make an alteration to my suggestion that the amount be paid by May 17th, 2026, within 30 days.
Can you pay it within 30 days?
Yep.
All right, reduced to $2,950 payable by May 17th, 2026.
Thank you.
Please keep in mind, ma'am, that if it's not paid by that date, it does return to the regular amount.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Madam City Attorney?
Let me see if she's.
We still waiting on the other one?
Yeah, let me double check. If not,
All right.
Okay, we're gonna move to case 11.
Well, not without the city attorney.
I'm waiting for,
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Or we're gonna do a-
Check real quick to see if Ms. Jellin was outside or not. No, she's not back yet.
All right, let's do case 11.
are we good with moving with case 11?
Sure.
Thank you. Case 11, Code 26-000-622. The property owner is 5 Ocean Properties LLC. The registered agent is Jean Hockman, and the property address is 124 Southwest 8th Avenue, and the code officer on the case is Reggie Williams.
Good afternoon. My name is Reggie Williams, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of Delray Beach. I'm here regarding property 124 Southwest 8th Avenue. Case number code 26-000-622. This property received a courtesy notice on February 23rd, 2026 for maintenance of building for unsecured doors. The property was given 1 day to comply with the violation. An inspection was conducted on March 16th, 2026, and the property was still not in compliance. A notice of violation was issued on March 16th, 2026. Service was accomplished by certified regular mail and posted to City Hall on March 17th, 2026. In addition, the property was posted on March 17th, 2026. An affidavit of posting and mailing and first affidavit of non-compliance is attached in the case. I have been in contact with the owner of the property. This property was cited for maintenance of building for unsecured doors on the property. As of April 16th, 2026, the property has not come into compliance. I have attached 8 photographs of the property to the case that I would like to introduce into evidence. The city is asking for an additional 7 days, which would be on April 23rd, 2026, for them to come into compliance. If they do not come into compliance, then the city is asking for a $100 daily fine until compliance is achieved. Exhibit 1, taken February 23rd, 2026, shows the 3 doors that's unsecured. Exhibit 2, taken February 23rd, 2026, is the courtesy notice that was issued to the property. Exhibit 3 was my reinspection, March 16th, 2026, that shows the 3 doors that's unsecured. Sorry. Exhibit 4, taken March 17th, 2026, was the posting of the notice of violation. Exhibit 5 is my affidavit of posting and mailing. Exhibit 6 was my reinspection taken March 30th, 2026, that shows the 3 doors that's still unsecured. Exhibit 7 is my first affidavit of non-compliance. Exhibit 8, taken March 16th, 2026, is my reinspection prior to hearing, that shows the 3 doors that's still unsecured. When I spoke with the property owner, he did say that he boarded up the doors, but they keep being removed. But I told him, since he's the property owner, he has to find a way to board up the doors without them being able to get snatched off.
There are people living in there?
The last time I was out, which was February 23rd, 2026, 2 police officers did come. They went through each door that was open. They didn't see anybody inside, but they said it was feces and clothes and stuff inside the properties.
Great. Is anyone here on behalf of the respondent? All right. Seeing no one, without objection, I'll accept into evidence the photographs and documents submitted by the city as city's composite exhibit. Officer Williams, do you believe 7 days is a reasonable amount of time to bring this into compliance?
Yes.
Is there anything further from the city?
No.
All right, in case 26000622, I make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient to find the property in violation of 7.8.3. Maintenance of buildings, specifically the 3 doors that are not secured. Responded has 7 days to come into compliance or a fine of $100 per day may issue.
Can we set the date certain, please?
April 23rd, 2026.
Yes.
April 23rd it is, 2026.
Thank you.
You can call the next case. 12.
Case number 12, code 26-000-640. The property owner is Power Group of Companies Corp. The property address is 240 Northwest 8th Avenue. And the code officer on the case is Reggie Williams.
Good afternoon. My name is Reggie Williams, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of Delray Beach. I'm here regarding property 240 Northwest 8th Avenue. Case number code 26-000-640. The property was issued a notice of violation on March 25th, 2026. Service was accomplished by certified regular mail and posted to City Hall on March 27th, 2026. In addition, the property was posted on March 26th, 2026. An affidavit of posting and mailing and first affidavit of non-compliance is attached in the case. I have not been in contact with the owner of the property. This property was cited for landscape maintenance for overgrown vegetation and loose trash on the property, as well as maintenance of building for unsecured windows on the property. As of April 16th, 2026, the property has not come into compliance. I have attached 13 photographs of the property to the case that I would like to introduce into evidence. The city is asking for an additional 7 days, which will be on April 23rd, 2026, for them to come into compliance. If they do not come into compliance, then the city is asking for a $100 daily fine until compliance is achieved. Exhibit 1, taken March 25th, 2026, shows the overgrown vegetation and the loose trash that's on the property. Exhibit 2, taken March 25th, 2026, is a different angle of the property showing the overgrown vegetation and loose trash on the property. Exhibit 3, taken March 25th, 2026, is the back of the property in the alleyway that shows the window that's unsecured. Exhibit 4, taken March 26, 2026, is the notice of violation posted to the property. Exhibit 5 is my affidavit of posting and mailing. Exhibit 6 taken March 13th, 2026 is my reinspection.
Was that March or April 13th?
For Exhibit 5?
No,
Yeah. For Exhibit 6, taken April 13th, 2026. For the overgrown vegetation and loose trash on the property. Exhibit 7, taken April 13th, 2026. It's a different angle of the property, of the overgrown vegetation and loose trash on the property. Exhibit 8, taken April 13th, 2026, is the back of the property in the alleyway. It shows that they put up a board and something else to try to cover the window, but you still can see the space for the window. Exhibit 9 is my first affidavit of non-compliance. Exhibit 10, taken April 16th, 2026, is my reinspection prior to hearing. That shows the overgrown vegetation and loose trash on the property. Exhibit 11th, taken April 16th, 2026, shows the overgrown vegetation and loose trash on the property. Exhibit 12, taken April 16th, 2026. In the back of the property from the alleyway, you can see that whatever was put up is gone now. And that's it.
Is anyone here on behalf of the respondent? Seeing no one without objection, I'll accept in evidence the 12 exhibits, the city's composite exhibit. Officer Williams, do you believe 7 days is a sufficient amount of time for them to bring this into compliance?
Yes.
And what has to be done here?
Just board up the back window on the back of the property and cut the overgrown vegetation in the front and the tree and the trees in the back.
This doesn't require any siding or anything?
No,
Okay.
it's just a board the back of the window.
All right, in case 26000640, I make the following findings of fact on the life. I notice sufficient to find the property in violation of 7.8.3, the maintenance standards for the property, including the overgrowth and the exposed window. Respondent has until April 23rd, 2026 to bring this in compliance or fine up to $100 per day may issue.
Thank you.
Do we want to do 13?
Yes.
13, please.
Case number 13. Case number 13, code 26-000-573. The property owner is Stephen Rawisser. The property address is 1191 Old Dixie Highway, and the code officer on the case is Rubenson DeJaden.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Special Magistrate Mr. Wagner. My name is Rubenson DeJaden, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of Delray Beach. Case number 26-00573. This property, 1191 Old Dixie Highway, was issued a notice of violation on February 11, 2026. Service was accomplished by certified regular mail and posted to City Hall on March 5th, 2026. In addition, the property was posted on March 11, 2026. An affidavit of posting and affidavit of non-compliance is attached in the case. I have been in contact with the property owner and the general contractor. This property was cited for 2.4.13 subsection B for building permit. As of today, April 16, 2026, the property has not come into compliance. I have 8 photographs of the property to the case that I would like to introduce as evidence. Exhibit 1, that's just showing you the work was done inside the property without permit. Exhibit 2 is showing you on February 11, 2026. As you can see, the work was done without permit. And exhibit number 3, this is just showing you that I took, that was on March 11, 2026. This is just showing you I posted the property. Exhibit number 4, this is just showing you the affidavit of posting. exhibit number 5. Actually, this picture was taken on April 8, 2026. This was the non-compliance affidavit that was taken on April 8, 2026.
And that's just to show that the property had not come into compliance with the compliance date of March 26th.
That is correct.
Thank you. At this time, the city would like to introduce those
8.
8,
Six.
Six. 6 exhibits into evidence, please.
Sir, can you tell me your name, please?
Britton Berkner.
And what is your position with the respondent, Mr. Berkner?
I've been engaged by the owner, Stephen Rottweiser, as a general contractor to obtain the permits and fulfill the construction of the renovation of the property.
And did the owner, may I ask a question?
Mm-hmm.
Did the owner provide you with authorization to be present here today on his behalf? or
Yes,
her
he did.
behalf?
Yes.
Sir, can you spell your last name for us?
Berkner, Birkner.
Mr. Berkner, do you have any objection to the photographs and documents the city would like to put in evidence?
No, sir.
That objection so admitted? Go ahead, sir.
Just coming here today just to ask for the time. We recently obtained the construction documents from the engineer yesterday. We will be filing for the permit related to all the work to be performed on the property.
How much time do you need to bring this property into compliance, sir?
To gain the permit, we'll be applying within the next 30 days. We just need to get a couple product approvals from the window and door manufacturers, and then we'd like to have the permit applied for by the end of the month. So then just however long it takes for the process to get the permit to continue the work.
What's the city seeking here?
The city is asking for an additional 30 days.
So until May 17th?
May 17th, for them to come into compliance to apply and obtain an approved issued permit. If they do not come into compliance, then the city is asking $100 day until compliance is achieved.
So the city's asking me to give you till May 17th to get your permit. Is that enough time?
To apply for the permit or to obtain the
I
permit?
believe they're asking to obtain it by the
To obtain.
17th.
I mean, I would say I would request some additional time just because I don't have any control over the actual permitting process within your city. I can submit within the 30 days, no problem, but I don't have the ability to fast track anything through the city and make sure that that can happen in that time frame.
What type of, I guess let me ask the question, what type of work will need to be permitted? Is
It's
there
an
electrical,
electrical, plumbing, mechanical, and just interior non-load bearing walls.
Okay, so it looks like the supervisor's saying they're comfortable with 60 days, as long as we get some type of insurance that maybe they apply within 30 days.
Okay.
So why don't I do it like this, if this works to both your agreement. Let me say the 17th for application and let's say June 17th for obtaining.
Just let me confirm. Yes, that's fine with the city.
All right, let's do that. All right, in case 26-000573, make the following findings of fact in life. Find notice is sufficient to find the property in violation of 2.4.13b. Failure to obtain building permits. Respondent has until May 17th, 2026 to apply for the permits and June 17th, 2026 to obtain the permits, or a fine in the amount of $100 per day may issue.
Thank you,
sir.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
I'm not sure, maybe we can just.
Do we know what you...
I'm not sure. It sounds like they're still in discussion, so we can go to case number 6 because there are people waiting for those cases.
Okay.
So
All right, back to 6.
but what we will ask is that the following cases are related, so we would ask that they are heard together. It would be, let me just make sure. Case number 6, IR code 26-000643. That is the JHB Florida property owner. Then we have case number 7, IR code 26-000644. And case number 11, I believe it's, 10.
I'm sorry, Ms. Warren. It looks like they just came back in the room. Do you want to just deal with that
Oh,
one?
yes,
Yeah.
please.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Let's let me
One
let
moment,
Linda
please.
recall this case.
Just to make sure, I am going back to Code 25-000341, which is the Scuderi case.
Yes, ma'am.
200 Thank you
Yes.
so much.
Thank you. So, Your Honor, when you're ready. The city has indicated to me that they took issue with my comments with respect to the documents being with the city for 20 days. According to our contractor's records, the permit application was submitted on February 4th, 2026. What I'm being told, and they'll explain to you, is that according to their records, that application was not complete. There was something wrong with it. Our client, the owner, is relying on the contractor to submit this, and they have a different date. I think it was 2/17 that you said that it was actually received.
Okay, well, you don't have to talk yet. Yes, 217.
2/17, Judge. And so, just so you have the accurate information, and then it was reapplied after we got comments on 2/26. It was resubmitted then on 3/7/26, and then the permit was finally approved on 3/17. So I think they took issue with my 20 days. I think it was more like 14 days. Anyways, I spoken to the city. We have requested a reduction of the fine to $450. And my understanding is that they don't object to that. If that's okay with them, we'd like to resolve the case today.
So Magistrate Wagner, the only reason why I asked for this short recess was to make sure that you have accurate information before you. Because at the end of the day, the reason why we're here for noncompliance is because the violator hadn't completed whatever task the magistrate ordered within the time frames that were dictated on the order. And so when somebody makes a representation that the city had it for 20 days, that implies that we're the reason why this individual wasn't able to come into compliance timely, and that's not the case. So the contractor submitted a permit application. It was not accepted because it was not complete until February 17, 2026. From that time, it was reviewed by city staff. It was returned back to the contractor on February 26th of 2026. That contractor had it for 6 days, and then thereafter it went back to the city and was subsequently approved on March 17th. And so I just want there to be accurate information, because if you're in a position where you don't wish to grant the reduction, then I don't want there to be a record saying that part of the basis for the non-compliance was due to the fact that the city didn't act timely. When you don't,
That's fair.
so that's it. I don't have an objection. They're in compliance. They've done what they need to do. Sounds like an issue with the contractor, but as far as these fines are concerned, I don't have an objection if the court wanted to reduce it.
Thank you.
If reduce it to $450, how much time do you need to pay?
We'll pay it today, Judge.
All right. Reduce to $450 payable within 10 days.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody. And apologies for any inconvenience.
Thank you. Madam Assistant Attorney, where do we go from here?
Yes.
We're going to do 6 and 7, right?
Right, 6. It's 6, 7, and also case number 10.
Thank you so much.
So 6, 7, and 10 are related?
Yes, they are.
Okay.
And before we start, we just get everyone's appearance on the record. I'm sure they've all been sworn in.
Well, let's let Linda do introduce the cases so they're on record, and then we'll have the parties introduce themselves.
Thank you. So I will be calling the 3 cases.
Yep.
Okay. Case number 6, IR Code 26-000-643. The property owner is JHB Florida Properties. The registered agent is James H. Batmasian. The property address is 418 East Atlantic Avenue. The code officer on the case is Randall Strawn. The next case that I'm calling is going to be case number 7. Case number IR Code 26-000-644. The property owners are 450 Atlantic Investment LLC. The registered agent is James H. Batmasian. The property address is 450 East Atlantic Avenue. And again, the code officer on the case is Randall Strawn. The third case that I will be calling for this group is going to be IR code 26 000659. The property owner is Rosebud George East 1 LLC. The registered agent is CMRAC Inc. The property address is 400 East Atlantic Avenue. And again, the code officer on the case is Randall Strawn.
And would you like to make your appearance?
I'm Jamie. I'm from Investments Limited.
Ms. Jamie,
Ndeto. Ndeto.
one more time?
N is in Nancy, D is in Dominic, E is in Edward, T is in Thomas, O is in Oscar.
And which property are you here for,
418 and 450.
Okay, thank you. So you're here for case number 6 and 7?
Yes.
Thank you.
And my name's Abby Bennett. I represent Rosebud George East 1. I'm the property manager.
And that would be case 10?
Yes.
Okay. And you're both here authorized to speak on behalf of your property owners?
Yes.
Okay. Officer?
So before we start, I just want to get some testimony about the relationship and why we asked to call these 3 cases together. So, and then we would like to present our evidence that will be related to all 3 cases, if that's okay with the magistrate. Okay.
That is fine.
So I guess we'll call this 1A, because we already have a 1, and that'll be 1B that we call, but Exhibit 1A. Could you please state your name for the record, ma'am?
Mary Wozni, Sanitation Administrator for the City of Delray Beach.
And you were sworn in?
Yes.
Okay. And are you familiar with those 3 properties located at 418 East Atlantic Avenue, 450 East Atlantic Avenue, and 400 East Atlantic Avenue?
Yes.
And in your role, are you familiar with any agreements or any receptacles related to waste management?
Right. They have an agreement with Waste Management that they all share the same compactor.
Correct. But they provide those, you're aware of those agreements?
Just hold on one second. I can tell that you would really like to jump in and say something.
We actually canceled this agreement with them
Yeah, but
last year.
hold on one second. I have to let the city finish presenting their cases. You can certainly ask questions when they're done or present your own evidence, but it's kind of hard for me to understand if you sort of try and jump in while they're talking. Okay.
All right. Were you previously aware of any agreements?
Yes.
Right. And this is what I'm showing you, what has been marked as City's Exhibit 1.
Yes. the last we were aware of it was in August.
August 2025.
2020. Yeah, 2025. Yeah.
Okay. So we would have to introduce this as City's Exhibit 1. And a part of that agreement would that they would have some type of agreement to maintain all the receptacles together?
Correct.
Okay. Or maintain. Thank you.
Correct.
This company they contracted had a responsibility to maintain it?
No, the 3 companies together entered into agreement to mutually, as one entity, share a receptacle and maintain it together.
That would be why you're calling them together.
Correct. There was some information.
I did shortly after the last in August. We did cancel, terminate the agreement with them. I do have that here. And then I have my porter picking up garbage twice a day from all the tenants. So I'm not even part of the compactor anymore.
She didn't abide by the agreement anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Okay.
When did you start?
August of shortly after that whole thing last year. It wasn't working out. I just terminated.
Yeah, she didn't pay any of the fees that were associated with it.
All right, let me let the city finish presenting their case, and then obviously you both have a lot to say.
So, I think maybe in light of this new information, I just like to ask city staff to talk to them briefly to see what their relationship was before we proceed. If you can just,
all right,
why don't we take recall? Can we just take a 5, please?
A 5-minute break.
Thank
here.
you.
All right.
Thank you.
Delray Beach, Florida. I'm here regarding case number 2600643 for the property at 418 East Atlanta Avenue regarding a irreversible, irreparable violation. Service was accomplished by certified regular mail sent on April 10th, 2026. In addition, both the city and the City Hall, property in the City Hall was posted on April 6th, 2026. There's an affidavit that's posted to the property and the case files. I have not had contact with the property owner. The property was cited for illicit discharge. On Friday, March 26, 2026, March 27, 2026, our code officer observed garbage juice leakage coming from the garbage compact dumpsters in the rear of the property. This resulted into illicit discharge following to the city storm water drainage due to the non-maintenance of water or waste fluids, which is a violation of ordinance 53.012, subsection A to C. Previously, this property was also violated for the same issue on August 6, 2025, and was ordered a one-time fine of $7,500 to be paid within 30 days. I have 9 photographs of the property to the case I would like to introduce into evidence.
So this is City's Exhibit 1B.
Yes, this is Exhibit 1B. This is a copy of the property appraiser. This is Exhibit 2. This is a I'm sorry. This is a screenshot of the property, and it shows where the compactor is located, as you can see at the right here.
Okay, so the compactor is located on that property.
Yes, 418.
Okay.
This is Exhibit 3.
Go back a second, just so I understand. The 418 and 450, where are they?
418 and 450 is right here.
So that's 418?
No, 418 is the whole parcel right here.
The blue outline.
So 418 is the blue, and what's 450?
450 sits right here at the top right.
What an odd construct there. And the trash compactor is in the rear of that large building.
Sits right here in the middle.
Okay, all right, got it.
Okay. This is Exhibit 3. This is one of the 3 restaurants involved, Lemongrass. This is Cut 432, Exhibit number 4, taken on March 31st, 2026. And this is Lisa Rail, taken on March 31st, 2026, Exhibit number 5. Exhibit number 6 shows garbage and some of the grease coming from the bag. There's an unsecured bag with a fryer basket hanging from it. Exhibit number 7. Oh, this is the actual video of the grease flowing from the trash into the drainage.
Lovely.
Just a short clip of that. Exhibit number 7 shows another.
And those were all on the date of the violation.
March 27, 2026. Also, March 27, 2026, this is another exhibit. Shows the grease flowing into the stream into the city stormage drainage. Exhibit number 8 also shows another up close picture of the grease streaming down to the city stormwater drainage. Exhibit number 9 shows more garbage bags at the outside of the dumpster, shared dumpster. This was taken on March 27, 2026. Exhibit number 10, taken on March 27, 2026, shows more garbage bags unsecured outside of the shared compactor. And this is a posting of the property at Lemongrass. This was posted on April 6, 2026. And this is the posting affidavit for that posting.
Thank you. So what we're going to do, those are those 12. So we're going to go to the next case. So the exhibit's going to be a little out of order, but if we can note these for the clerk. So so we can reorganize. We'll call this exhibit number 13. What does this depict, Mr. Strong?
This depicts a screenshot of the property 450 East Atlantic.
Correct. So previously you testified that just to the left or south, those two businesses are connected, and we heard testimony that they share the receptacle, correct?
Yes.
All right. So exhibit 14?
This is 14. This is a picture of the 450 East Atlantic property taken on March 31st, 2026.
And that's one of the businesses?
Yes.
Is that Big Al's?
Big Al Steaks,
Okay.
yes.
And then these exhibits are the same, correct?
These are the same exhibits, yes.
And then 15?
This is the posting of Big Al's posted at the property on April 6, 2026.
Exhibit 16?
And this is the affidavit of that posting.
At this time, the city would like to introduce those 16 exhibits into evidence.
Ms. Ndeko, do you have any objection to those photographs or documents?
No.
Without objection, so admitted.
That's all the testimony for the city at this time.
Okay.
Do you have a recommendation, or do you want to hold it till the end?
We do, unless there is some testimony in defense by the property
All right,
owner.
let me hear from Ms. Ndeko. So you represent both of these restaurants, or you just
The property owner.
the property owner
Yeah.
that rents it to these restaurants?
Mhm.
Okay. The floor is yours. What do you want me to know?
So we pulled the permit back in August. We've gone through 4 rounds of submittals trying to put in a trough drain over by the dumpster enclosures. And our engineers have gone back and forth with options to try to rectify this, and it seems like they're just not connecting. So I don't know if, I guess it's something about putting a drain to a sanitary line, and they don't want the grease in it, but there's going to be a grease interceptor, so there's just a lot of back and forth. We put socks out to try to contain the grease, and they just get moved every time the dumpster gets emptied. So it's just been very challenging for us. We were gonna, I think our attorney is gonna be reaching out to the city to see if there's some option to put some drains there instead of allowing it to go down the drain, down the storm drains. So it's just been a lot of back and forth over the last couple months on how we're gonna resolve this.
I can't.
It's like unless
it's not that I
somebody's.
don't appreciate that,
Yeah.
and I believe you when you say you're
Mhm.
attempting to fix it. That
I mean, we have permit numbers and everything.
I believe all of that. I don't disbelieve what you're telling me. That at the end of the day, though, I'm not the building department. This is just code
Yeah.
enforcement. So
Yeah, no, I
whether or not you come up with a drainage solution that works for you, this is not permissible.
Mhm.
I mean, you can't have. I mean, on top of which is not just that it's gross, right, to get that into the storm drain. It's also the city of Delray Beach's responsibility to make sure that doesn't happen. They also answer to higher powers too, related to water quality, and so they can't allow this to go on either. So no matter how you come up with a solution for it, this can't keep going on.
Yeah.
But what is the city asking me for?
The city is asking for a one-time fine of $15,000 to be paid by March 17, 2026.
April.
I said
No.
March.
May. Are you talking
I'm
about
sorry.
in 30 days for May?
My bad. May 17th.
May 17th.
I'm sorry.
Are you asking me for one?
So each property.
You're asking me to find each of the properties.
Each property, $15,000, paid by May 17th, 2026.
Ms. Ndeko?
The tenants pay it. It's not up to, we don't pay these. So you guys are just hurting your own businesses in the city of Delray. So it's up to you guys, whatever you guys want to do. Just hurting your own small businesses. I'm just saying, we don't pay it as the property
I wasn't
owner.
going to say anything, but this is a recurring issue, right? And our residents shouldn't have to suffer either because of their tenants or the property owner, right? So that's why we ask for these types of fines in these cases.
I'll be honest. I generally try to balance the fines against the. I try and make the fines reasonable. Where I tend to be a little less willing to do so is when it shows up again. Because that sort of illustrates that whatever I did the first time didn't change the behavior. And that's and I take that seriously. I also take seriously that I don't want to put businesses out of business. On the other hand, I have to weigh the things that the city's raised here, which are quite fair, which is the water quality, which is the damage to the people, the residents of the city that have to deal with that water quality. I'm going to assess the fine that they asked for, and I'm going to hope that at some point that this stops, right? And that your tenants figure out a way to deal with the grease that doesn't end up in the storm drain. But that's what I'm going to do. In case 26000643 and 26000644, I'm going to issue the same order. I'm going to find the violation exists, that the violation is irreparable in nature, and I'm going to assess one-time fines in the amount of $15,000 payable by May 17th, 2026. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you. Are we going back to 5 now?
We're going to go to 10 because she's already here and we've already announced it, so let's do that. Do we not want to go to 10?
No, what I was suggesting was just wanted to confirm. 1 second. So I just spoke with the director and we're just asking, we want to look into some of these issues that were raised up previously. So we're just asking that this be reset to the next special magistrate hearing, which I think is on the 7th.
The 7th.
7th, please.
Ms. Bennett, do you have any objection to resetting this for the 7th?
No.
All right. Reset 5/7/2026.
Thank you.
You.
You gonna do number 8 next? That's me also.
Yes, we can do number 8.
Can we not
Please.
leave?
1 moment.
You almost got out of here.
Almost.
Case number 8. IR Code 26000651. The property owner is Rosebud 110 LLC. The registered agent is CMRAC Inc. The property address is 110 East Atlantic Avenue. And the code officer on the case is Randall Strawn.
No, it's a different issue.
No, it's a different.
It's a different
Different
issue. You
owner.
can proceed. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Randall Strong here, Code Officer with the City of Delray Beach, Florida. Here regarding case number 26-00651 for the property located at 110 East Atlanta Avenue for a irreversible violation. Service was accomplished by certified mail sent on April 9th, 2026. In addition, both the property and the city hall was posted on April 6th, 2026. Affidavit of the posting is attached in the case file. I have been in contact with the property owner on one occasion. The property was cited for illicit discharge on Friday, March 27, 2026. The code officer, by myself, observed garbage juice leakage coming from the garbage compact dumpsters in the rear of the property, resulting to illicit discharge flowing to the city stormwater drainage due to non-maintenance of waste fluids, which is a violation of ordinance 53.012, subsection A to C. This property also was previously violated for the same issue on March 20th, 2025 for a fine of $5,000. I have 9 photographs of the property to this case that I would like to introduce for evidence.
Exhibit 1.
Exhibit 1 is a screenshot of the property appraiser, the owner. Exhibit 2 is a screenshot of the property itself.
So the blue is 110 East Atlantic?
That's 110 East Atlantic.
Where's the trash?
There's 2 locations.
There's 2 locations. There's 2 restaurants on this property, Rocco's Tacos and Avalon.
And Avalon's in the middle and Rocco's is more towards the east side.
We have a compactor right here, and the other one sits back here.
Okay.
Exhibit 3 is a frontier picture of Avalon Beach House, which was taken on March 31st, 2026. Exhibit 4 is Rocco's Tacos, taken on March 31st, 2026. This is a photograph of the dumpster for Avalon, taken on March 27, 2026. This is a video also, this video clip.
There's no cap or anything on the bottom.
It wasn't a cap, there was a rust spot on the bottom part of the dumpster. There is a cap though.
This is Exhibit 5, taken on March 27, 2026. This is Exhibit 6. This is Rocco's Tacos. Shows this the rear of the property where the ice machine is kept with the discharge coming from the machine. This is also a video.
And this exhibit 327, that's a fair and accurate representation of what you observed that the day of the violation, correct? Thank you.
These are 2 separate drainages, also storm drainages. This was taken on March 27, 2026. This is Exhibit 7, also another photograph of the dumpster for Avalon. This is Exhibit 8, shows another illicit discharge going into the storm drainage. Exhibit 8 taken on March 27, 2026. Exhibit 9 shows another screen flowing from the dumpster, taken on March 27, 2026. Exhibit 10, taken on March 27, 2026, shows some more discharge coming from the rear of the property of Rocco's Tacos. This is Exhibit 11, another photograph taken on March 27, 2026, shows more discharge coming from the ice machine under the mop bucket. And this is Exhibit 12, this is the posting to the property on, this was posted on April 6, 2026. And this is the affidavit for that posting, Exhibit 13.
At this time, the city would like to introduce the 13 exhibits into evidence.
Ms. Bennett, do you have any objection?
Nope, I do not.
That objection, so admitted. So what's going on here?
The dumpster, actually, you can go back to the first one. The dumpsters have been replaced with rubber dumpsters. We called Waste Management immediately. There was a rust spot at the bottom of the dumpster because there was a plug in there. Yes, the discharge was there, but it's already been fixed. And I am on top of Avalon over this whole thing. And then the other picture, when it comes to the ice maker, I have a letter from Rocco Taco's AC company that says that everything is connected correctly and what you're getting is condensation. I thought condensation was allowed down storm drains.
So, I'll let her finish and then I'll make my rebuttal.
I was because that's per code, I thought that condensation was allowed down storm drains. So I have pictures and I have a letter from the AC company showing that everything's been connected correctly underneath. And the only thing you're getting off it at this point is condensation.
So, first I would like to say this is a irreversible violation. We can't go back. We can't make the corrections. We're happy that they did replace one of the dumpsters, but it already occurred.
Yeah.
And we can't go backwards on that. As far as condensation goes, if you look at Code Section 53012, Sections A through C, which is the code violator, if you specifically look in that section, I think the respondent is misinterpreting what the code says. It actually says, unless determined by the director to be unacceptable, the following discharges are accepted. It states that water from crawl space pumps or air conditioning condensation. The issue here is that once you have that condensation, it's picking up other pollutants and sediments and other trash, and as you can tell from the video, and streaming it down into the stormwater system. The intent and goal of this section and when it would actually be permitted by the director would be a situation where there might be a direct discharge from the AC through some type of piping or other mechanism of purely water condensation directly into the system, not dragging on the ground and picking up other pollutants into the stormwater system. So that's the issue. So I think there's just a misunderstanding of what the code says on the respondent's part. And as you can tell, we have clear evidence that these are irreparable and irreparable violations, and we can't go back. This has already occurred. So we do have a recommendation, especially considering that this is the actually there was another violation for this property owner, and technically I believe it would be the third because they were part of a separate violation that we asked for $7,500 back for, that the special magistrate found this company in conjunction with another company for a $7,500 fine. So this would be the third violation. And as I recall, from the second, the first one was, what was the date, Mr. Strawn?
The date was on March 20th, 2025.
That was they received a $5,000 fine, and then in August 2025, I believe it was a $7,500 fine, of which was graciously given because I believe the city asked for $10,000. Right, so, correct. At this point, I mean,
I don't remember the second one. I know the 5,000. I agree with that, but there was no second one.
Okay. Well, even if it was,
yeah,
give them the benefit of the doubt on that one. This is still pretty egregious. I mean.
What's the city asking for?
The city's asking for a one-time fine of $15,000 for that property, paid by May 17, 2026. May 17.
Ms. Bennett, I'll give you the last word.
I mean, we've changed the garbage. I agree with that. But on the ice machine, I mean, what are they supposed to do? Because that was all part of code when they did the build out and everything.
I mean, I don't think it's the best place to give advice. We can have staff discuss that with her, but I would, as I stated before, typically this was something that, per the code, the director would be able to approve some type of mechanism to have a direct disbursement into the storm drain system. If it's approved, but that would be something that would have to be approved by the Public Works Director.
The garbage, the trash can, I absolutely agree with, but the ice maker, I mean, that's all there in code, and nothing's changed in years.
Yeah, look, the oil is enough to make a finding here, because this is a repeat violation, and as I've said a zillion times as I sit here, whatever grace I give you on the first time around, I don't repeat. So, I mean, I am going to assess the fine here. I'll give you in the city, some time to figure out what to do about that water, and you can go meet with them. Okay. But I mean, the city's not wrong. That I mean, you can't have, because at the end of the day, right? Even if it's water that's picking up, like in this particular case, it's probably picking up some of the grease that's down there.
Oh, I have no doubt. But it's something that was there.
The water discharge in this particular case is clearly a violation, just because of the nature of the debris that you have around where the water is discharging. Whether or not you could create something that will comply, I'm not gonna prejudge how that's going to go. But in this particular case, it's clearly a violation. At least it is, as I understand the code section. So I'm going to issue the one-time fine, the amount of $15,000 payable by May 17th. And I hope you'll meet with the city and figure out how to resolve at least the water issue. It sounds like you've resolved the oil issue, so hopefully that'll be that on that one. But I mean, you gotta keep the oil out of the drains.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Case number 9.
Yes, ma'am.
Case number 9, IR Code 26-000652. The property owner is Granite Worthing LLC. The registered agent is Corporate Creations Network, Inc. The property address is 32 Southeast 2nd Avenue, and the code officer on the case is Randall Strawn.
Good afternoon again. Randall Strawn here, code officer for the city of Delray Beach, Florida. Here for case number 26-00652 for the property at 32 Southeast Atlantic Avenue. Second Avenue. Yes. 32.
Say it.
The address is 32 Southeast Second Avenue.
Thank you.
Service was accomplished by certified regular mail on April 10th, 2026. In addition, both the City Hall and the property was posted on April 9th, 2026. There's an affidavit posting for the case attached to the files. I have not had contact with the property owner. The property was cited for illicit discharge. On March 27, 2026, I, code officer, observed garbage juice leakage coming from the garbage compact dumpsters in the rear of the property, resulting in illicit discharge flowing into the city's stormwater drainage. Due to the non-maintenance of the waste fluids, which is in violation of ordinance 53.12, subsection A through C. This property also was previously violated for the same issue on March 13, 2026, and the fine was assessed. I have 7 photographs of this property to the case that I would like to introduce as evidence. Exhibit number 1 showcase the popular appraisal for the owner. Exhibit 2 is a screenshot of the property itself, highlighted in blue. Just to screen in a little bit, the compact, the containers sit right back here, the dumpsters. Exhibit 3 is a photograph of one of 2 of the restaurants compound, which was taken on April 8th, 2026. Exhibit 3 is Park Tavern, also taken on March 31st, 2026. Exhibit 4. Exhibit 5 is a photo of the grease coming from one of those containers, dumpster containers, that has stained the concrete. And this was taken on March 27, 2026. This is Exhibit 6, taken on March 27, 2026, another photograph of illicit discharge. This is Exhibit 7, taken on March 27, 2026, showing illicit discharge flowing from the dumpster container. This is a video of that. Exhibit 8 is a picture of the dumpsters collectively. This was taken on March 27, 2026. And this is the posting for one of the 2 restaurants. And this was posted on April 9th, 2026. And this is Exhibit 10, shows the affidavit of that posting.
At this time, I'd like to introduce the 10 exhibits into evidence.
Sorry, can you state your names, please?
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Manuel Perez. I'm a service supervisor of Working Place, Granite.
Where are you a where do you work, sir?
Working Place, the building. That's what I would like to ask you if the violation is against us or against those 2 restaurants. They rent the spaces from them.
Well, it's the property owner. So you here on behalf of the property owners, correct? So you're responsible for your tenant's actions.
Okay.
Thank you.
And who do you have with you, sir?
I am Connie Hayes, the assistant manager of Worthing Place.
Of the building?
Yes.
And ma'am?
I'm Shelby. I'm a leasing agent within the building. We're here on behalf of ownership. Is there any possibility ownership could be on the phone to speak?
We typically, I don't believe our rules allow for phone participation.
That's probably something you should have asked before you got here.
Right, yeah, we would have had to.
Regardless, they couldn't be here, so we're here on their behalf.
Are they authorizing you to speak on their behalf and proceed? So they don't want or need to be here. It's just if they could listen in the background or something.
I think we're going to proceed with what we have. In the future, if you want to make arrangements for that, you should contact the city ahead of time. What's the city asking for? Well, I guess let me let you respond. So the city's alleging that illicit discharges are coming from the 2 tenants in your building.
The picture that you show is one of the dumpsters without a cap or something like that. That it's grease on. That's why it's grease on the floor.
Right. Yes.
Or not? That's not the water coming from that same ice maker from Rocco's Tacos.
Which one are you referring to? Which
So let's go to the actual. This is on their property, correct?
Yes.
And there's a picture showing that that's the one that belongs to one of the restaurants.
This is on your property, yes.
Yeah, but the Rocco's Tacos are next to us. It could be any of those.
Officer Strawn, that dumpster, who does it belong to?
Well, it's about 4 or 5 dumpsters in one area. So, but it does sit on that particular property. So,
but they all mark who belongs to.
Is this dumpster sitting on this property at?
Yes, at 32.
32 Southeast 2nd Avenue.
Yes, Avalon has its own dumpsters on their side.
And we've checked the dumpsters. There's caps on them.
Caps on it and
there's no
everything.
leaks coming from the dumpster.
But this particular dumpster right here, Exhibit 5, shows a crack in it, and that's what's causing this leakage coming from.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to tell you is that Rocco's Taco has 2 dumpsters that's in the same area, right there too. So ours had the caps on it. I don't know that.
Officer, did you see the materials coming from this dumpster?
Yes, the dumpsters are located on their side of the property.
So in your testimony is that the dumpster that was leaking was the dumpster that was situated on 32 Southeast 2nd Avenue?
Yes, sir.
No, I understand, but what I'm trying to tell you, to see if you understand, is that
yeah, I get that you're not the only person polluting here, but the only question for me is whether or not you are polluting here.
I mean, our dumpster.
I'm hoping the city stops all the polluters, but the question here is whether or not there's a violation occurring on your property. And the officer, as you heard, the officer's testifying that.
Yes, I'm not saying no, sir. I'm just asking if those are the dumpsters that belongs to those 2 restaurants that we rent the area for, because there's 2 more dumpsters that from Rocco's Taco in the same area.
I think Officer Strawn, what he said, and stop me if I'm saying this incorrectly, but I believe what he testified was that the dumpster in question was the one on your the one in this photo was the one on your property.
Because there is a bit of a slope, because
Right.
we know that there's stuff coming from Rocco's.
We understand. Yeah, but those 2 dumpsters, they're leaking. Yes, on your side. Yes.
Anything else you want to tell me?
It will be a good idea if we have a picture with the dumpsters numbers. Like every dumpster has a number, and that number tell you which.
One of the things that I always think it makes sense to do, though, again, I should not be giving advice, and I certainly don't, but when an officer especially, suggests, one of the things you can always do is call them up and have them come and meet them and walk the property with them and talk to them about the violation. The purpose of code enforcement is to help you come into compliance. This is the last resort part when I get involved. But their purpose is to try and comply you. You can, I don't know if you've had contact with the officer.
No.
Officer, have you?
No.
Are there any other pictures of showing it on our side or showing the dumpster number or anything? It's just zoomed in really close. Or did I miss them?
This is all the dumpsters together.
And which one was the one in question?
That's the thing, you cannot tell which one is.
All the dumpsters on their property.
All of them, yeah, all on the property. So the one in question was the video that we just showed, screaming down to the storm drains.
All right, what's the city asking for here?
City is asking for a one-time fine of $15,000 to be paid by May 17, 2026 for that particular property.
I'll give you the last word.
One correction, may I just add? I stated that this property was previously violated on March 13, 2026, if we got it correct. So 2026. 25?
25?
25.
Okay.
25.
Yeah, because I don't think we'd have resolved it if it was.
That's all.
I'll tell you the same thing that I told the others. The first time I try to show you some grace to get it there, when this starts showing up again, I'm less inclined to do so. I do think it is a good idea to reach out to the staff. If you think that there's issues that are not related to your property, you got to bring the staff and you got to talk to them. The problem with all of this again is that the city isn't entirely sovereign when it comes to waterways, right? The city has to deal with other governments that also hold the city to pretty high standards as well. So that's one of the reasons that they tend to be very tough about these things. Not just because they're protecting the citizens of Delray from water quality, which I'm sure they are, but also because the state has concerns about such things as well and holds the city's feet to the fire as well. So they tend to be pretty fierce about these things. These are things that you really have to keep an eye on and to monitor. I'm going to assess the one-time fine in the amount of $15,000, and I hope I don't have to see you guys again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we're moving to the non-compliance case. Case number 14. Case number 14, Code 25-000-138. The property owners are Bright Horizon Investment Corp. The registered agent is Samuel Cantor, and Goku Inc., where the registered agent is Gwen Gove. The property address is 32 East Atlantic Avenue, and the code officer on the case is Connor Lee.
All right, good afternoon. On October 15th, 2025, a special magistrate found that a violation for City Code Section 4.6.6, subsection C, subsection 1, for case 25-000-138, issued by a past officer, existed at the property 32 East Atlantic Avenue, Delray Beach, Florida. The violation is of two unscreened...
You can keep going. I'll get you there.
Thank you. Two unscreened dumpsters behind the restaurant Elizabetta's. The magistrate ruled that the property had 30 days to obtain an approved permit to screen the refuse area or receive a daily fine of $100. On January 6, 2026, a magistrate order inspection was conducted, and it was discovered the property owner had not obtained a permit to screen in the refuse area. Another reinspection was conducted April 13th, 2026, and as of today, April 16th, 2026, the case is still non-compliance. I have 4 new documents that I would like to submit into evidence, and the city suggests that we lien the accrued fine amount for $15,300 and continue the daily fine of $100 until compliance is met.
So this first photograph here, this is just a demonstrative photo, so to just show the business, correct?
Yes.
So these new exhibits, Exhibit 1 taken on March 18th?
Yes, this was taken during one of the re-inspections prior to hearing, but it got rescheduled. And then Exhibit 2 is the magistrate order dated on October 15th, 2025. And then here is the affidavit of posting for April 6th, 2026. It was actually hand-delivered to the restaurant. And here is Exhibit 4 on April 13th, 2026. I couldn't get the same angle as the original photo because there's a truck blocking it, but I just wanted to show that the refuse area still has not been screened in. And they do have a permit. It's on hold.
And why is it on hold?
It says they need to respond and resubmit for update documents with setback requirements.
Okay.
Hi, can you state your names, please?
Christy Bellino.
And what is your position with the respondent?
I'm with Elizabetta's.
You're the what?
I'm with Elizabetta's restaurant.
Are you the owner of the restaurant?
No, but I'm representing we're the ones working on the revision of the trash enclosure. So it's on our property.
So I'm so sorry, what is your title, or are you with
I work for Big Time Restaurant Group. I'm the COO of Big Time Restaurant Group.
Okay.
And
Their
who do you have
parent
with you?
company, parent subsidiary.
Correct.
Okay. Or parent company, not a subsidiary, parent company.
Yeah.
And then who are you?
I'm Kevin Slater. I'm the project manager for the restaurant group. Same one.
And did the property owner authorize you to be here today?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Do you have any objections to the photographs the city would like to put in evidence?
No.
That objection so admitted. So where's the screen?
So we've had a couple rescheduled of these hearings over the past 3 months. So we're here today. We have resubmitted our survey as requested. We've been in contact with Connor as well. And then we received some information back from Michelle Hewitt, who we've been working with on these revisions from the city, that there was a parcel that was purchased by the owners that was not on the survey that was submitted with our most recent permit application, and we needed to have a new survey completed with the 2 feet additionally added with the parcel that they brought on after they purchased the property added. So that's what we are in the process of doing right now. We have a survey scheduled and we're waiting for that to be completed and to get the CAD drawings for the resubmission.
When was the original compliance date?
The original compliance date was November 5th or 16th, 2025.
That's a long time ago.
We've had about, I think, 4 submissions for our permit since then with different requirements each time.
I'd just like to add, it's not from lack of action. You know, every time we're waiting on response times, which range every single time. And we can't act until we get a response on those, which also requires that resubmit these documents. And then now, most recently, we have to now obtain a new survey due to the addition of the parcels there.
Yeah, we didn't have that information until the last
So
submission.
every time we have the information, we're acting on it.
I mean, is what you're trying to tell me that the delays are the city's response time?
No, not at all. I think as soon as we're getting the responses, we are responding, but there's been things that have come back every single time that we've had the information coming back and forth. We also had that curb put in last year, and yes. And that was after it was like originally noted that we needed there to be a change there. So we've already done 1 revision, and that was, I think, 12 months ago at this point. So this additional information that we got in October was on top of that original change.
Yeah, I definitely think that's the owner's problem, not the city's. So it seems like, this at this point, we just ask that you find that there's still out of violation, keep the fines going and lien the property, and then they can work out whatever they're doing, hopefully bring this into compliance.
Yeah, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to assess the fine, and I'm going to keep it rolling until you bring it into compliance. Once you're in compliance, there are methods that you can come back to revisit that fine, but at this point, I'm not going to change the underlying order. But you can talk to the city staff about reduction of fines, but that's only possible once you're in compliance.
Right.
All right. In this case, 25000138, I'm going to assess the fine of $15,300 and continue until it comes into compliance.
Thank you. And we're continuing the daily $100 a day fine.
Yep.
Thank you. Case number 15. Code 26-000-534. The property owner is MDG Banyan Delray Partners LLC. The registered agent is Cogency Global Inc. The property address is 10 North Swinton Avenue. And the code officer on the case is Connor Lee.
Good afternoon. On February 5th, 2026, a special magistrate found that a violation for City Code Section, my apologies, 4.5.1, subsection E, subsection 9, subsection A plus subsection B, subsections 1 through 6, maintenance of historic properties for Code 26-000-534 existed on the property 10 North Swinton Avenue, Delray Beach, Florida. The property is for maintenance needed for the structures within the property. the magistrate ruled that the property had 30 days to correct all violations or receive a daily fine of $1,000 per day. On March 9, 2026, a magistrate order inspection was conducted, and it was observed that the property owner had made all the correct. That the property owner hadn't made all the corrections needed for compliance. Another reinspection was conducted April 15, 2026. As of today, April 16, 2026, the case is non-compliance. I have 7 new documents and 7 previous documents from the case to submit into evidence, and the city suggests to lien the accrued fines for the amount of $39,000 and continue the daily fine of $1,000 until compliance is met.
So, you know, this is a case, I believe, from my understanding, certain things have been done, right? Like, so yeah, right. So let's just get to what's still outstanding.
I see. Yeah. Okay, well, these are from the previous cases, just showing the building, some of the violations shown throughout.
I remember. It wasn't that long ago.
Okay, cool. So Exhibit 1, this was the board order reinspection, just a photo taken of the property. And here is the board order dated for February 5th. And that's Exhibit 2. Exhibit 3, this is the non-compliance affidavit signed by Officer James Easley on March 9, 2026. And then March 9, 2026, Exhibit 4, this is the photo taken of what is left of the violations on the property. It's the wall that had been damaged from a previous accident. And then here's another photo, Exhibit 5, taken on March 9, 2026, of the same wall, just at a different angle, with the building in the background showing it's the same property. And the affidavit of posting for this hearing was April 6, 2026. And then here is a photo of the posting on the building on April 6, 2026, Exhibit 7. And then I would like to submit these documents for evidence.
So I understand, is the wall the only thing that's not in compliance?
For the violations listed out on the property, yes. And it actually looks like there was a wall permit issued on Tuesday, so 04/14/2026, but the wall still remains on property and is damaged.
The other issues with the property were fixed? You inspected those?
Yes, Officer Easley noted in his reinspection that the only violation left on property was the wall.
Sir, can you tell me your name, please?
Yes, Steve Michael. Do I need my address? 909 McCleary Street.
I think we have it.
Okay.
But
yes,
Before you go, do you have any objection to those photographs?
No.
All right, without objection, so admitted. All right, go ahead.
So after the last hearing, we immediately addressed all the items, including re-roofing a partial part of the roof, even though the leak was really just due to the exhaust fan having a gap. But we are going to re-roof the roof, so we're going to rip off the entire patch that we did. But we did do it. We did everything. I met with James. I called James within a week or so, maybe 10 days. And I said, let's come out to the property. I'd like you to inspect it. I did explain that the wall, the reason why we can't repair the wall, number one, we had a permit application we were about to submit, which we have submitted for the entire project, a rehabilitation of the building. For me to act, so it was, I explained to him that I can't really repair a wall that I'm about to rebuild from an application that we had submitted probably a week or two later. And I thought we agreed that was sufficient as long as the permit application, because the permit application would automatically put this on hold. And irregardless of that, if we wasn't going to pull a permit and rebuild the entire building and the new project, I would be required to submit a permit. This is a historic structure. That wall's a historic structure. I would be required to submit a permit application to rebuild that wall. That would put my entire project on hold until that application is approved, and then we rebuild the wall. I have a $20 million construction loan that I'm currently in default because of this violation. I don't understand why I'm here. I mean, I think I complied. I complied with everything that I could comply with, and the wall is going to be complied in the permit that's already in application. So the reason I can't figure out what I'm doing here.
I've discussed this briefly with our assistant director of development services, and I just want to be clear that this is separate. Whatever separate construction issue or I don't want to say issue or project that is ongoing is separate from the wall. He still has to fix the wall. So I think that's separate and apart. I don't know if you have any questions for the assistant director. But from our understanding and from review of this case, not that I'm testifying, I'm just making the argument that it's
What is
separate.
compliance here? Obtaining a permit to fix the wall?
We'd have to look at the order. Give us one moment.
Would you mind if I ask, is the wall, repair of the wall and the structure around, actually it's going to be rebuilt, isn't that part of the permit application? Either one.
We have to swear. I don't believe you here.
Sworn in.
Yes, okay, thank you.
You weren't sworn in last time. That's why I don't know. Thank you.
By the authority vested in me as a notary of the state of Florida, do you swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
So you're in the midst of submitting a permit?
No,
Or
no,
you have
the
submitted
permit
a
application has been submitted.
And the permit application includes rebuilding of this wall?
Yeah, because the wall is being reconfigured.
Okay, the permit is not, I'm sorry, I'm just trying to understand.
Yeah.
The permit is not also for the three-story
Yes, it is.
addition?
It is, both.
Okay, but by the time that permit is issued, couldn't the wall have been fixed, or are you working on this, on the historic structure first? Because that's, I
We
believe,
are.
the most important part of the whole project. And it is a small part of the wall. I don't know how long it is, maybe 10 feet long, maybe less, 5 feet. It's pretty insignificant, and it does take a while to, you'll get your permit, but there's no guarantee that you're going to start work immediately. So I think the city wants the wall to go ahead and be fixed.
This property's gonna be fenced.
Unless you do a separate, I'm sorry for interrupting you,
Sorry.
but unless you do a separate permit, maybe get your, the project permit done separately, but still go ahead and fix the wall. That way they're two separate issues, because that needs to be done, it's important.
So just to add to this, Anthea Geniotis, Development Services Director, the preservation of docks, which is a historic building that the citizens have all agreed is important to maintain. The wall is part of that historic structure. And while there's a 3-story office addition with a new kitchen and other things that was submitted on April 1st, that permit, a simple repair and replace permit to fix the wall now so that it's shored up as the other part goes, because the intention, if I'm correct, is to maintain the historic structure as part of the new development. So sort of maintaining it now instead of a year from now, I think would be very helpful.
I think what the city's trying to say is they want you to fix the wall.
And that is part of the whole rehabilitation of docks. That's part of the permit application that we submitted.
Yeah, I guess if I understand the city correctly, because I see the communication isn't going great here. But if I understand the city correctly, what the city's point is that whether or not you're going to rehabilitate the problem or not, fix the wall.
So you are asking...
Did I interpret you correctly?
Correct.
Yeah.
It's a simpler permit.
So you're
I mean, I think the city's point is, I guess your point is that you have this whole thing doing and you want to do the wall as part of it. And I guess the city's point is that who knows what's going to happen with that development. There's a long process to go through. They don't want to wait for you to fix the wall, depending on how that turns out. They want you to just fix the wall.
But the process isn't long. As soon as the building permit's issued, we are fencing off the property and starting construction, and part of that includes rebuilding the wall. So you're asking me to pull an additional permit to rebuild that section of the wall.
Look,
That's
you can do whatever
covered in
you
the
want.
permit that I've already.
I'm not asking you to do anything. I generally don't ask
Or-
people to do anything. I
No,
just
no,
ask you to be in
okay,
compliance.
Yes, I'm asking for him to do a repair and replacement of the wall so that while the 3-story, how many thousands of square feet is the addition?
21,000.
Yeah, that project, which will take a while to start. I'm not sure, is the plat finished?
The plat's just
Is
getting
it
signed
I don't
off,
remember
but-
signing it, so that's going to hold the building permit as well. Whereas the repair and replacement of the wall could happen immediately. It's a small permit; it's not very expensive. This is a historic structure, so waiting for the larger permit, this could be done quickly.
And it's also on the corner of a prominent street in the city, right on the corner of.
Right, it's right at Atlantic Avenue, and Swinton Docks is sort of a beloved building, and we're excited for the redevelopment that will preserve it. But this is a small start that could be done relatively quickly.
I'll give you the last word, sir.
Again, I don't understand submitting a second permit now. I will, if that's what I have to do, to resolve this. I probably the permit that we have in application currently will be approved before this is done, but I will be happy to do it. But I am asking. I have been, they've requested to assess fines. If I have a lien right now, I'm in default of a loan. I don't know what's going to happen if my lender finds out that I defaulted and I have a lien on my property over this. This is a extremely minor issue, and I can't. I mean, that's a bigger issue for me than pulling a permit to repair this wall, which I'm happy to do if that's what is necessary to resolve this. And I think, and I'd like to ask Connor, at any time when you ask me or any of the code officers tell me there's an issue with anything on that property, am I extremely responsive to fix and repair anything?
Yes, yeah, you respond immediately.
Thank you.
Yeah. He's on top of when I call him, he does respond. Yeah.
The city's position is we need the permit, and we're hoping that, obviously the lien and the continuation of the fines will nudge them to keep proceeding, but everyone is saying, our director, even the property owner is saying, this is something minor that could be done, and our code enforcement officer testified that he's responsible, so just respond and, proceed. So that's why we brought this in today. We want to make sure that we're preserving our historic properties in the city.
I'll be honest, my inclination is to issue a lien in this case. I'm probably not the one the city wants, because I'll take into account the fact that you complied with just about everything other than the wall. I'm actually kind of perplexed why you didn't just fix the wall and bring this thing into compliance, but be that as it may, we're here. I can delay the assessment of the lien if but my inclination is I'm probably looking at a fine of $200 a day, so we're talking about $7,800 at this point. I can delay the assessment of that so you don't go into default, and you can fix the wall and then pay it. But that's what my inclination is to do.
Yeah, and I just spoke to Darlene. She's fine with that. We just want the wall fixed. So if your inclination is to delay when we're authorized to file the lien, we're hoping that you can get a permit within 30 days for this.
I don't just so we don't make a complicated order. Let's reset this for not the first one, because that's too quick. The 17th, the 21st.
May 21st.
21st.
5/21,
We'll
yes.
reset this for the 21st. That'll give you time to try and get this thing resolved. Try and do it very, very quick. And if then we'll settle what the fine amount should be on the 21st.
But can we have the daily fines continue?
Yeah, I'm not changing the underlying order. But we'll reset it for the 21st. That'll give you some time so that you don't necessarily have a lien of record, but fix the wall.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's it, right?
Yes.
All right, we're adjourned.